Thank you, William. Greetings to all the supporters and friends and well-wishers of the Barbados Labour Party, and to all Barbadians present here tonight. Our country is on the dawn of celebrating a new year, 2017. With every new year, we should come to have a renewal and a recommitment of the hopes and aspirations of our people, especially of our young people. The reality, however, in the Barbados of today is that after almost 9 years of DLP governance, hopelessness and despair are the hallmarks of the lives of a significant number of our constituents across the length and breadth of this country. This country, under the Democratic Labour Party, continues to move from one crisis to another crisis. At every week, a new crisis that is proven to be insoluble to the government of Barbados. Cabinet incompetence bestrews this country, whether it is in the Ministry of Housing, which has not built 25 new houses since this term of office, and those houses that have been completed under that minister, they can't get people in them, and he tells you he don't know why people not in the grotto. Whether it's the Ministry of Education under the worst minister ever out of the 13 that they've had, including an Anthony Wood I see out here was one of them. Whether it is the finance minister, easily the worst finance minister of all since independence. Whether it is the Minister of Agriculture, who had said he was going to plow up Barbados from north to south, east to west, and everything, all sugar production down, and many non-sugar production areas down as well. Whether it's the Minister of Social Welfare, people, elderly people, people with disabilities struggling to get their disability benefits and their NIS. When they do get it, it comes late. In a lot of cases, it has been cut. And led, of course, by the worst Prime Minister ever in the history of this country. The infrastructure and the physical development, the physical fabric of this country is breaking down after 2 terms of Democratic Labour Party rule. The economy, after 9 years, still can't get out of recession, growing at no more than 1% per annum in every single year that the Democratic Labour Party has been in office in this stint. And in fact, if you take into account the last 3 years between 1991 and 1994, when they were in office, the economy has not grown under the Democratic Labour Party by more than 1% in their last 12 years of governance. The economy right now of Barbados is smaller today than it was in 2007 when the Barbados Labour Party was in office. This government has not been able to get any projects growing whatsoever. And Professor Moore, an independent economist at Cave Hill with no axe to grind for the Barbados Labour Party, has carried out a study that has shown conclusively that over the last 40 years, whenever the Barbados Labour Party is in office, the economy has grown on average by 2% per annum more than it has grown under the Democratic Labour Party. I rest my case. Even the Dems tell you that the economy is run better by the Barbados Labour Party, and that's why they came up with this piece of rhetoric that Barbados is a society and not only an economy. We have had 35 new taxes in this country or increase in taxes, whether it is the VAT, whether it is the increase in the VAT, whether it's the social responsibility allowance, or levy, whether it is consolidation tax, 35 new taxes or increase in taxes. And the sole objective of a government raising taxes or levying taxes on its people is to provide for the people of a country, especially those who cannot provide for themselves, those who are disadvantaged, those young persons who are not working, the elderly, the senior citizens who have done their part in developing this country and making it what it is, people with disabilities. That is why you tax people, to help the less fortunate, those who need help. But yet what we have seen in this era where our taxes have increased and the tax take is burdensome to the majority of Barbadians is that the welfare and social fabric of this society has withered away. We are now paying for education at university, something unheard of, something that for 50 plus years Barbadians had come to take for granted. We are now paying more for health services in this country. The two major planks of any society. The health of a nation is the wealth of the nation. And both parties before now had agreed that we will place education of our people at the front burner, so that those who are born in poverty, those who are born in villages, those children and grandchildren of sugar plantation laborers would have the opportunity to reach the top, just like any other child born into wealth. That has been undermined by this Democratic Labour Party government. This country right now is like a ship which has struck an iceberg and continues to sink with the captain jumping off, leaving the passengers to fend for themselves. A debate has now resurfaced within recent weeks on whether Barbados should seek the help of the International Monetary Fund. As the printing of money continues and the borrowing from the National Insurance Scheme, as in one of today's media newspapers, continues. The printing of money places the stability of the Barbados dollar under severe jeopardy. But this government doesn't seem to understand that. Ryan Strawn, who is running here in Christchurch, understands that. One of the best economists in Barbados, someone who must be walking up the stairs of Parliament after the next elections are over. How did we get to this stage? We got to this stage by the brunt of misguided DLP policies, of overtaxation of the people of this country, of a failure to facilitate business, of corruption in high places and spiritual wickedness in high places, and a failure of the government to do the small things that will make a difference in the lives of the people of this country. Water wars, I understand now that water wars have reached Christchurch. They have moved now, and they are still in the east of Barbados and the north of Barbados, and I understand that they've moved to Christchurch, and I'm sure that the Christchurch members of Parliament will speak to that tonight. But what is even more appalling has been the callousness of ministers of government on this particular issue, of the Minister of Water Resources especially, and of the Prime Minister especially. We have not heard one word, generally speaking, in French, English, Latin or Greek, which he loves, from the Prime Minister of Barbados, expressing empathy and sympathy with the people of Barbados, especially those in the east and north, who have for weeks and weeks been without consistent water for the last 18 months. The callousness of this government their don't careish attitude to the people of Barbados must be condemned in the highest form by your vote next election. Water is a basic human right. In fact, Slovenia, 2 months ago, made it a fundamental human right in their constitution, the right to water, the right to clean water. And we have gone back in Barbados where the village tank, the water tank, is the norm in some parts of the east of Barbados, including St. Joseph, as it was 50 years ago on the advent of our independence. Down here in Christchurch, you have been beset by a storage problem over the last 3 weeks. And again, the callousness and the don't careish attitude of government ministers bears out. You have not had adequate information on it. We have heard and seen about business places with storage running through the business and them having to salvage what they can out of their business assets. We have had about people who live down the road in this area having to go through storage to get home. We've heard about tourists in the hotels down this area booking out and putting on TripAdvisor, etc. What is going on? This is not the Barbados Labour Party has been doing that. Bad-mouthing Barbados, to use the words of one cabinet minister. We are not doing that. We bad-mouthing the Democratic Labour Party. We are patriotic Barbadians, but facts speak for themselves. And you in Christchurch, especially in this area, have not been given the benefit of having information as to what is the true case with this storage. We've had the NCC and drainage telling you one thing, but the representative from this area telling you another. And in the height of irresponsibility, we have had the de facto Deputy Prime Minister, who Marsha Callell, who is here tonight, will take out next election, telling you that it is a non-issue. How can somebody who is the Deputy Prime Minister of Barbados and the Minister for Tourism tell you that it is a non-issue and the beach should not have been closed and play he's an NCC ranger taking up the closed beach stake? But this should be a criminal offense. But how can it be a non-issue when everybody in the area, residents and business people alike, telling you that it is severely affecting the quality of their life, their ability to earn money, and their ability to live? But that is the Democratic Labour Party right now for you. Public transportation completely broken down. 80 buses, if so many, on the road right now, owned by the Transport Board. People in the bus stand waiting 5-6 hours to get a bus. You understand what that means in terms of productivity, in terms of children's ability to go to school? Not one word audible from the minister responsible for public transport or the Prime Minister. Solutions easy, you know. Solutions easy. The stakeholders in the private sector of the transport telling the government that they're willing to take up the slack by having buses go to the short routes, while the Transport Board can try as best as they can to service the long routes. But that is not happening. Public transport in chaos, something that is a fundamental part of the delivery of services and of people to work and to their homes and to the schools. Education in a complete mess in this country. A World Bank official, again with no axe to grind for anybody, no brief to hold for the Barbados Labour Party, telling us 3 months ago that the quality of education in Barbados has declined tremendously, and that there is an increasing number of children who are sitting CXCs for the first time who are not able to get their certification so that they can leave school with something that they can carry to the table in the world of work or to gain higher education. The education minister trying to refute, but clearly not bringing any credible case. The IMF, the World Bank official, the World Bank have the facts. And this is the fact of the matter. And this, of course, coupled on the dismemberment by this Democratic Labour Party government of a major plank of that party's social policy over 50 years ago, that all Barbadians will, as of right, attend the universities of the West Indies, all the campuses across the Caribbean, free of tuition costs. That is a criminal act, what the Democratic Labour Party has done. To now make poor people, children, pay to go to university. And it is seen by the results in the 2-3 years that this has happened. With enrollment at the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill, down this year by 40%. Only 1,100 new students, new Barbadian students, enrolling at the University of the West Indies. So therefore, young people who have the qualifications to go to the University of the West Indies not being able to access that institution. And with that, the government has failed to buttress the Barbados Community College and the Polytechnic. Because one would have thought that if you are now denying access to a significant number of poor Barbadians to the University of the West Indies, you would buttress other tertiary educational institutions. And that has not happened. The grants, the scholarships, the access to the Student Revolving Loan Fund, all under severe pressure. The closure of Commermere School, an iconic institution in this country, don't mind I didn't go there, has been a fundamental disgrace and an embarrassment to the people of this country. For the last 4 weeks, students at Commermere have not been able to go to school in from first to fourth form. Those in fifth and sixth form in a state of confusion. As I understand it, not being treated even though they were assigned to go to school at the BCC and at Erdiston. No word coming out of the Ministry of Education or from the minister on this issue. There's a sense that the governance of this country is being overrun by corruption, by bribery, that money and gifts have to pass to get everything done in this country, from simple things right up. And ministers saying nothing wrong with driving vehicles in the name of the contractors who do business in their ministries. You should know right from wrong if you want to serve at cabinet level. There's no integrity legislation, no prevention of corruption legislation, no campaign financing legislation. All the projects of this country, every major project that the government seeks to get off the ground, whether it's Cahill, whether it's Hyatt, whether it's Paradise Beach, whether it's the Grotto, whether it's the Sugar Factory, just immersed in controversy. But this Barbados Labour Party is bringing to you, right across Barbados, top-line candidates here in Christchurch, 5 quality candidates, from William Duguid, whose record you know, having served twice in the Parliament of Barbados, top in health policy. And I'm sure he may talk a bit because buttressing the policy of our leader, who gave a major health policy statement less than 2 weeks ago, to Ralph Thorne, who I have known for 45 years. We went to school together, a top Queen's Counsel, and the same way he has brought quality and excellence, his representation of people in the law courts of Barbados, he will bring to you in Christchurch South in the Parliament of Barbados. To Adrian Ford, a young man with a record of service to young people in this country. who has, even before getting in Parliament, made a mark in promoting entrepreneurship among young people in his constituency. To Ryan Strawn, a top economist. The Democratic Labour Party has no match for Ryan Strawn in terms of economic acumen, someone who is needed to help take this country forward and to help recover the economy of Barbados. To Wilfred Abrahams, a young man, well-rounded man, a top lawyer, the best president of the Bar Association since I've been practicing law now for 32 years. Don't mind he was the youngest. That is the kind of quality that we are bringing to the Christchurch team and to you and all across Barbados, led by Mia Motley. No one out of the 30 of us in Parliament has a better vision for the development of this country over the next 5 to 10 years than Mia Motley. This Barbados Labour Party, and I would urge you, I'm sure that those of you who do not have the Covenant for Hope yet, that there'll be some around, and we urge you to read it. We stand for an acceptable quality of life for the people of this country, and we will give you a standard below which no citizen must be allowed to fall. We stand for good and transparent governance. We stand for achieving and maintaining global excellence in all our endeavors. In short, we stand for making this country great again. I thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much, Edmund Hinkson.